Hi guys, today we are making a super easy and super delicious dal fry. Dal directly means lentils, and the different kinds of lentils are also called certain dals, like masoor dal, that's red lentils, tur dal, that's split pigeon pea, moong dal, that's petite yellow lentils, urad dal, that's split black mudpie beans, chana dal, that's split chickpeas, and dal is also a term used to describe the dish. So anything that you make with the dal is also called a dal. So there is masoor dal that will make masoor dal tadka. There's moong dal that will make moong dal tadka. There's tur dal that will make tur dal fry, and so on and so forth. Any of the soupy, stewy kind of lentil-based Indian dishes are the dal category. They're not always a split variety. We also use whole lentils and beans to make dal. So the masoor dal, that's the red lentils, they are split lentils. The whole form of red lentils is the brown lentils that are usually skinned and then split to make the red lentils. Similarly, the green mung beans are made into yellow moong dal. But we use the green mung beans and the brown lentils also to make dal. You have the sabut masoor dal, which uses the whole brown lentils. So you have the sabut moong dal that uses the green mung beans to make a dal. Other beans like kidney beans, black eyed peas, chickpeas, they also make these curries, which can also be termed as a dal. They are in the same category. Dals can also be made in various different formats based on when you add the spices to it, what kind of spices you add to it, what kind of tempering or tadka that is added to it, and so on. There is dal tadka and dal fry, which are the two major categories. For dal tadka, we make this tadka, which is basically a spiced oil. Think chili oil, but in Indian format. You add whole spices, ground spices, aromatics, and other things to make this delicious spiced oil that is often just drizzled all over the dal or just lightly mixed in. For dal fry also you have a tadka, which is a spiced oil or a spiced sauce. Then you add the lentils to this tadka and mix in. It's kind of called a fry because you're adding lentils to this pan and kind of frying the lentils with the tadka. They're not necessarily fried, it's just a category name. And those are the two categories. For this dal fry, we're making a tadka with mustard seeds and cumin seeds, and then adding some aromatics, ground spices to it, and then adding some tomatoes, and then adding cooked lentils into the mix, and finishing up with cilantro and a bit of lemon juice. It makes this absolutely delicious dal. You can use any lentils for this recipe. I am using red lentils and moong dal. You can use just red lentils, just moong dal. You can also use tur dal, which is split pigeon pea. You can use chana dal, which is split chickpeas. You can also use whole lentils. Just cook the lentils until they're cooked to preference, then add it to the tadka, and that's it. So in the recipe, we're using these black mustard seeds. Oftentimes, I get questions about where do you find them. You can find them online on Amazon and Indian stores or wherever else. They're kind of much smaller than your regular mustard seeds. They also have a much stronger flavor. But if you don't have these, you can use brown or yellow mustard seeds as well. I remember when I wrote the first book, I got lots of messages about Indian cooking, and one of them was what to do with these seeds. Do you discard them like other spices before eating, or you eat them? These seeds are really tiny, so you actually eat them. They're kind of hard seeds, but when you cook them in the tadka in the hot oil, they kind of pop and become like popped seeds, which are not hard. They're kind of like a crunchy cracker, so you can eat those easily. They just impart this amazing flavor to the oil and to the dal. The tadka can also be used with vegetables or tofu or a different protein. A lot of the dals do require you to use fresh ginger and garlic, but if you don't have those hands, you can also use ginger garlic paste. For this dal, we first wash the lentils really well. Then add them to a saucepan with water and then cook them until they're cooked to preference. You'll need a little bit more water in the saucepan compared to the Instant Pot. While the lentils are cooking, we made the tadka. Heat some oil in a skillet over medium-high heat. Once the oil is hot, add the mustard seeds and cumin seeds and let them start to sizzle and pop. Depending on your stove, this is going to take anywhere from a few seconds to a minute or two. Once they are popping out of the pan, reduce the heat to medium. Add the ginger, garlic, green chili, onion, and a good pinch of salt and mix well. If you're using Hing, that's Asafoetida, you add that at this point as well. You can omit the Hing. I'm just used to adding Hing because my mom used to add Hing to pretty much all the dals, but it's not a requirement for flavor. Hing is usually used as a substitute for the garlic and onion flavor, but we're already using onion and garlic in this recipe, so you don't necessarily need the Hing Asafoetida flavor in here. Hing also helps with the digestion of lentils, reducing bloating, but we're already using other spices that help do the same thing, like cumin as well. So you don't necessarily need to use hing. Keep stirring and adding splashes of water in between to help the onion cook evenly. Once the onion and garlic are starting to turn golden, add in all of the ground spices, the ground coriander, turmeric, and cayenne. You can also add a little bit of garam masala if you like. Add in the lemon juice, the tomatoes, and mix and cook until the tomatoes are jammy. After a few minutes, press the larger pieces of the tomatoes and continue to cook until they get jammy. Then add in the cooked lentils and mix really well. Also add in half of your cilantro and mix in. Now taste and adjust the salt and flavor. Add some more salt if you like. Add some more heat with cayenne or red pepper flakes if you like. Adjust the consistency. Add some more water if the dal is thickening up too much, and then switch up the heat. Garnish with more cilantro and a squeeze of lemon juice and serve with rice, roti, naan, or however you like. And I also have some gobi aloo matar, that's potato, peas, and cauliflower. I'm gonna add some of that too. And that is everyday Indian comfort food. Some really delicious and easy dal, rice, and a sabji, that's a vegetable stir fry. This bowl is usually served with a salad of onion, cucumber, and tomato with some black pepper, salt, and lemon juice added to the salad. And together, it's a great combination of flavors, textures, vegetables, protein, carbs, fiber, and everything that you want in a meal. This is basically our home style food. This is what we grew up eating. Different dals paired with different vegetables, paired with either a whole wheat flatbread or some rice and a side salad. Sometimes there would be chutney, sometimes there would be raita, which is a yogurt dip. All these combinations of different flavors and textures and vegetables and fiber and protein made this a satisfying and delicious meal. You can cook this without oil. I have a post on the blog dedicated to cooking Indian food without oil and how do you temper the spices and roast the spices to make the tarka. That post is also linked in the description. If you are new to Indian cooking, I would suggest using a little bit of the oil because it carries that whole spice flavor really well. You don't have to use like tablespoons and tablespoons worth of oil. Just a teaspoon or two is enough, and that will carry over the flavor to the entire dish. It smells so good. The smell of dal with this spicy, garlicky tarka is like so mouth-watering. It's just food that you have got to experience once. When I wrote the first book, the people also were concerned about the texture of the lentils. I know a lot of people don't like the really mushy lentils, so the only thing you need to do is to cook the lentils for a shorter amount of time based on your texture preference. You don't have to make them really mushy. Indian dals are supposed to be mushy. They are overcooked lentils, they are overcooked kidney beans, overcooked chickpeas that become really soft. Everything is overcooked to that texture, and that's an expected texture. But if you don't like that texture, you just have to cook it a little less time. There's so much flavor in all of these dishes, so please do try them. There are probably 30 or 40 dals already on the blog. There are another 25 or so in my first cookbook and a couple in my Instant Pot book. And there are so many more regional cuisine dals that I haven't yet tried. This is one of the everyday and simple dals that we make pretty frequently. It is super simple. It is my husband's favorite, and he makes this dal whenever he has this dal comfort food craving. It is very flexible to your flavor as well as texture. So even if you are missing a spice or two, it'll work out just fine. Or if you want to add any more spices, that'll work out just fine as well. If you do try this dal, do let me know in the comments how you liked it. Also, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also do try many of the other dals on the blog. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.